welcome to Dialogue. Chinese people around the world are once again celebrating their most important holiday of the year. Chinese New Year, also known as the Lunar New Year or Spring Festival, which falls on February 10th this year. 2024 will be the year of the dragon, which in Chinese culture symbolizes power, nobility, and intelligence. So what does this Spring Festival mean to China? How have Spring Festival traditions evolved in the era of social media? And what is the cultural symbolism and the meaning of the dragon? Join us for our discussion today from Beijing. I'm Xu Qinduo. Happy Chinese New Year to you all. So I know you are in different places around the world. Zoon, you are back in Pakistan. Mike in Australia. And David, you are in the southernmost Chinese province of Hainan, the tropical Hainan. And of course, Flora is in the studio in Beijing. I will start with you, Zoon. Tell us, what you are going to do for the Chinese New Year. Anything special?
Yes. Firstly, Chindo, thank you for having me on the show. I mean, I've spent 8 years living in Beijing, and many of those Chinese New Year holidays I've also spent in China. This year, I am in Pakistan. I'm going to attend a very important wedding on the date of Chinese New Year on the 10th of February, and I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, so it's exciting. We are trying to add some Chinese traditions in this event, and I will try my best. I think, just like in Pakistan, Eid is very important. Family reunions are very important. Food is very central. Paying our respect to our ancestors is very important. So the fact that, I can be here with my family on Chinese New Year and celebrate the essence of Chinese New Year with them in Pakistan is something that I truly cherish. So that's the plan, and let's see how it goes.
Well, that's part of the Chinese tradition too, right? To get together with your family during this Spring Festival, this New Year time. Mike, anything special for this year?
Yeah, hi, Shindo. For this year, I'm going to take my son to his basketball training in the morning, followed by a football match in the evening with my whole family. My whole family is here, and it's a great occasion to celebrate family reunion, like Zoon said, and we are going to be sporty as well as family together at this special time.
Yeah, get together. And David.
Hi, Tindor. Yes, so I've had a very, 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 very busy year over the past year. So I am taking the opportunity of the Chinese New Year holiday to relax, read a book, catch up with some shows, do some exercise, and eat all the nianhuo that I've received from various friends and clients over the past few weeks.
Yeah, it's a time of dining and, not whining, but reading. And Flora,
Absolutely.
I know you will spend your holiday not in Beijing.
Yes, exactly. I'm actually spending the holiday in Tanzania, Africa. Instead of uniting with my family in our hometown, we're actually making a family trip to Africa. Regardless, we're still going to burn incense to worship our ancestors and get ingredients from local groceries to make dumplings.
To make dumplings, yes, part of the tradition. Speak of that, Flora, why don't you tell us, brief us, especially our viewers, from overseas who are not exactly familiar with the Chinese culture. Tell us more about the Chinese New Year. What does it mean, for example, for the Chinese people?
The Chinese New Year is also known as the Spring Festival. It is the most important festival to all the Chinese people, and it has been celebrated for more than 1,000 years. All the celebrations of the Spring Festival is centered around getting rid of the old and bad and welcoming the new and good. So on the eve of the Chinese New Year, people would cleanse their homes and have a thorough bath to get rid of the bad luck, and also put on new clothes and put on the character fu, for example, on their gates to welcome good luck.
Character fu, and we will actually ask Flora to write this Chinese character fu, which means fortune in English. for us at the end of the show.
I'll try my best.
We'll do that. That's interesting. It's also part of the tradition. You put on this couplet, to celebrate, and of course the red color there. Zoon and David, both of you are long-time observers of Chinese culture. I'm interested to know, your thoughts about the Chinese New Year. We'll start with Zoon again.
Okay. So, Chindo, a lot of people in Pakistan specifically are very curious about how similar or what they expect, how different the cultures are. So for me, exactly the aspects of Chinese New Year, where it's about family reunion, it's about meeting your relatives, it's about remembering those before us whose legacies we inherit, and also the part where it's cozy, comforting, and you cook together. This is all. I mean, these are very important aspects, because in the end, I think what our cultures, what the Chinese culture specifically values, is family bonds. It's that we can't just be individuals on our own. We are connected. We are part of those who we share family bonds with, and I think that aspect is something that I truly enjoy, and that's where you see that our cultures are also very similar. So last year, I was very lucky to be invited by a family who live in a village in Anhui, and I experienced all of it. We met the parents. They welcomed me warmly into their family. We had the fireworks, had prepared food. We did what Flora also mentioned. It's about welcoming new spirit, a new energy. It's about having a renewal of and opening yourselves to opportunity. So you see that energy. And I also went with them to pay respects to their ancestors, to a temple, to I think just to pray and wish for a better future. And that was absolutely, I felt warmly welcomed. And over the years, I mean, I've been lucky to experience Chinese New Year in different ways, but the village was absolutely unique. So I'm hoping, this year I've also, like I think David was mentioning, the food and the snacks. I've brought a lot of Chinese snacks with me to share them with my family, with my other relatives and family friends. And I think in the end, it's about remembering our history, our past, our heritage, and deepening the bonds, because that's what we really live for. The people that care for us and the people we should have a sense of duty towards. So this is something I truly cherish.
Yeah, exactly. The family and the bond, among the people. David.
So first of all, I'd like to talk about the universality between various festivals around the world, including the festivals in my culture. Most obviously are the ones that fall around wintertime as well. And they are also a time for gathering and spending time with one's family, moving away from the old and into the new. And regarding my own favorite Chinese New Year tradition, I think it's getting together with my friends, my Chinese friends, those who might be hanging around for Chinese New Year, and getting together. The time spent with friends at those small gatherings, making dumplings, playing mahjong, and having a jolly good time. And it's very warm and comforting in its own way, especially because in the UK, where I come from, around Chinese New Year, everybody's already busy at work, and so I have been back to the UK during Chinese New Year a few years previous. And I've just found that nobody has any time to hang out with me.
Mike, you are also in the warm, Australia right now, the summer, and
yes.
I know, you basically you experience some differences. I probably, both in China and Australia, and for example, the Chinese community. Do you observe any differences, or what is the Chinese Year being celebrated in the community?
Actually, for the past few years, my parents have been coming from China to Melbourne, to Australia, so that we can celebrate Chinese New Year together. Because according to them, they find the Chinese New Year celebrations here in Australia even more eventful and much more crowded, and lots happening than in cities where they come from. From Chinese New Year, we celebrate from as early as almost a few days ago, all the way throughout the 2-week period of Chinese New Year. And we have more than 4 celebrations throughout the city of Melbourne, not just in Chinatown, but also in 3 other areas where there are a lot of Asian and especially Chinese population. And we have the world's longest dragon. We have line dancing. We have lots of celebration that involve the whole communities, not just the Chinese community. But the Chinese New Year has entrenched itself as one of the most celebrated festivals in Australia. Probably one of the top celebrated festivities just besides Christmas and New Year. So much so that on Chinese New Year, you can see families involving Chinese community and other communities around Australia, with business people, with politicians. So everyone wants to come to Chinatown. Everyone wants to come to where Chinese people celebrate this very important day on their calendar. So there's a lot happening, a lot to see.
But that's, Flora, Mike mentioned one interesting point, that is, usually the traditions, of the Chinese New Year or Chinese culture are better protected actually overseas. Well, inside China, interesting, with the rapid development of the economy and also the internet, the introduction of social media, for example, it creates this effects of, I would call it like disrupting effects. There are a lot of changes. Some of the traditions are well protected, are changing, are evolving. Some others probably are gone. You speak of that, like for example, the Spring Festival Gala by CCTV every year. I remember it used to be the whole family, we're staying in front of the TV, we're having jokes. That's the one way to celebrate this new year. But now with the social media, the impact, it's disrupting a lot of practices. What's your observation?
It's very interesting because the term of Spring Festival Gala actually triggers a very strong nostalgia from me because it reminds me of the carefree childhood time when my families could sit in front of the TV sets, exchanging snacks, absorbing every second of the fabulous show. Whereas nowadays, people's attention are so distracted by different screens. So I guess it's not necessarily the old Chinese Spring Festival Gala that we miss, but rather it's the state where our mind could be fully present at the show and to be with our families mindfully without any distractions from outside. That truly makes people think this memory is quite valuable. So I think social media is actually a double-sided sword. In one sense, it steals people's attention, right? It distracts people. However, attention nowadays is the most valuable resources everyone can have. On the other hand, influencers on social media can leverage the platform to promote cultural diversity and preserve the old traditions. For example, where I came from is a very remote village. There was a very famous street called Xiangdong Street in the past where people would come to the street for the old temples and buy food. However, with the development of the city and modernization, the street is no longer popular. But thanks to the influencers on social media that share the clips of the traditional way of living, now it has become popular again.
Revived.
So, yeah, so it's a double-sided sword. So as long as we can have our mind present, not distracted by social media, and find a way to leverage the platforms of social media to preserve the traditions, I think the taste of the Chinese New Year will not be diluted.
David, I know that you prepared something special for the Year of Dragon with Lego.
I did indeed, yes. So, is it time now to reveal my hard work? Okay, so here we have
wow, it's
this Lego dragon.
Well done.
Chinese dragon,
beautiful.
yeah. This took about 3 days to put together. Mostly because I have cats and they are very attracted to the small Lego pieces. So, so there's a lot of knocking around. And then I had a friend come around and build this even smaller one here. Both Chinese dragons, of course. And we can tell that because one, these dragons don't have wings. And two, this dragon here, he's holding a pearl in his claw. And it's very long and snake-like, which is what made it particularly difficult to put together.
Speak of the dragon, the Chinese dragon is actually one of the 12 zodiac, which is mythical, which is not a real animal, Of course, the dragon is powerful, it's mythical, it's powerful. It can summon basically the lightning, thunder, rain. It can fly in the air. It can also swim in waters. A bit different from the dragon in the, let's say, in the Western. World, in the English language world, which lives usually in the den. Tell us more about that. They're different dragons. Well, we are talking about dragon, but they're different.
They are different, absolutely. And actually, another interesting coincidence is that both of my parents are dragons in Chinese zodiac. I have been interested in Chinese zodiac since years before I even had an inkling I would land in Beijing and live here for so many wonderful years. So, I've read up a lot on the dragon. Like you mentioned, it's the only mythological Chinese zodiac sign. It is one which is about authority, prestige, benevolence. It has a regality. The dragon is about regality. It's about moving forward with power, but power that's not harsh, but rather has a warmth, kindness, and benevolence to it. So I'm deeply interested in what the dragon stands for. And it's about, some leadership abilities, the ability to lead, the ability to command respect, without having to, be harsh with others. So there's, the Chinese dragon, unlike the Western dragon at times, I was also, for my family, I brought some puzzles. And like David mentioned, I have a cat. I'm really interested in these 2,000-piece puzzles, and a few of the pieces were eaten in the process. So this time I decided to bring puzzles for them for Chinese New Year. And one is a Chinese dragon, and the other is a Western dragon. Unfortunately, we haven't made them yet. It takes a lot of focus, collective focus. I wish I could show them right now. But both have, their own glamour, beauty, and prestige. But the Chinese dragon, I think it seems to be very versatile. And if I see, I do believe a little bit in the traits of Chinese zodiac. I don't think, you become, everyone who's a snake, which I am, or a dragon will be exactly like each other. But there's some tendencies, some ways in which people approach life, etc. So, and I think in that, for me, the Chinese dragon is one that I see those traits at times in my parents, the way they deal with situations. And I think, I do believe this year of the dragon can be one. It's the wood dragon, right? I won't go into details of the elements, but it's a year in which we can all hope for opportunity, for betterment. I would wish that on my country as well. We have an election coming. I think it's an opportunity for our nation and other countries, including China, other nations in the world, to move towards betterment with focus, with vision. And also, I hope that the benevolence of the dragon can reflect in how countries, how governments are treating each other, how people are being treated, which I think we desperately need in today's world. So let's hope that the spirit of the dragon can be further, promoted through our Chinese friends, through Chinese media, through Chinese people, and it resonates with the people of the world. I truly, from my heart, wish for that.
Well, thank you, Zoon there. Mike, how do people like in Australia view the Chinese dragon or the year of dragon? Is it anything special, for this particular year because it's the year of dragon?
Yes, many people in Australia, not just the Chinese community, have come to know Chinese zodiac. And actually, some of my friends have anticipated so much for this year, the year of the dragon, because they have heard from either myself or from other sources that the year of the dragon symbolizes strength, symbolizes the regality. symbolizes power, and also, but in a very good way. I agree with what Zoon said. The Chinese dragon and the typical Western dragon are so different, where we see in movies and in TV series that Western dragons are usually fearsome, are usually flame-throwing. But Chinese dragons, or what we should call long, 中国龙, are more peace-bringing. They bring water to farms. They bring peace to the world. So I think it's important to let Australians, let the world know about Chinese dragon, Chinese long. And for example, my son was born in the year of the dragon. So this year, my mom, his grandma, has brought this Chinese dragon T-shirts all the way from China, so that everyone in the household, we're gonna wear this, and we're gonna have a photo shoot on Chinese New Year days. And I myself is wearing a watch. I don't know if you can see it. It's actually Chinese dragon with the animation. Yeah. So we're doing our little bit, to let people know that this year is the year of the dragon, and everybody in Melbourne is looking forward to how good this year could potentially bring to everyone.
Yeah, auspicious year. That's the
Yes, indeed.
Right? The year of dragon. David, you, if I'm not wrong, so you were from the year of dragon. There's a lot of talk about personality. They say, oh, if you are from the year of dragon, you act like a dragon, powerful.
I try to act like a benevolent, powerful person. How might one best describe that? I like to speak with authority, but I don't like to speak over other people. I think dragons, yes, dragons are a symbol of nobility, benevolence. I think we might also have a touch of arrogance, but I think that comes
Every
from
coin has two sides.
Yes, of course. But I do feel I very much reflect the qualities of a typical dragon, I'd like to say. Perhaps I could be a bit braver sometimes.
I was born in the year of sheep, but according to the fortune teller, whom my grandmother always visits, in my birth chart, actually, there's a dragon. So the fortune teller says that despite your zodiac sign of a sheep, you are actually a dragon inside, which means that from outside, I'm always seen as quiet and soft, but inside I'm quite powerful and intelligent. Hopefully, yes. Hopefully, I'm a dragon in sheep's clothing.
Sheep's clothing. Yes. Mike mentioned, like basically the introduction of people starting to appreciate the different, practices, different traditions, like the Chinese Year of Dragon. Also, obviously, Australia is not alone. Like a U.S. Postal Service, they issued this a new stamp featuring this Year of Dragon. And if you have a check, like Oxford English Dictionary also introduced this Chinese dragon into its lexicon. So does that mean, can we say, there's a gradual better understanding, let's say, of the Chinese culture or appreciation of the Chinese practice?
I think so. I do believe that China has more influence on the world right now, and I believe that people are appreciating the meaning of the Chinese dragon versus the Western ones, because the Western dragons symbolize the evil spirit. As you can see in Game of Thrones, all the dragons can burn down the city very easily, right? But in Chinese folklore, a dragon brings all the good luck to the farmers, and also in the folklore, the dragon actually propelled the rabbit to get ahead of a dragon to rank before the dragon in the zodiac sign. So dragon actually demonstrates the spirit of generosity, the spirit of selflessness. I think in the year of dragon, we all need to embrace the spirit of the Chinese dragons, and hopefully all the major conflicts in the world can be resolved this year.
Yeah, peace and prosperity for this year of dragon, of course. Zoon, or any special wishes for this year of dragon, as the auspicious year of dragon? That's of course we will hope for the best. Any special list on your list?
So many wishes, so many wishes. But honestly, I mean, just like Flora mentioned, and when I was to my best capacity, explaining what I understand of the dragon, I truly wish prosperity and peace.
Mike, anything special on your list of wishes for the new year?
Yeah, actually, I couldn't agree more with our two previous speakers. I actually think with so much going on in the world, with so much negativity, so many conflicts in every corner of the world, I actually really hope for a world peace for the new year and prosperity, of course, for everyone who's has been working and starting hard and raising a family hard. I think that speaks for everyone in the world.
Yeah, we deserve a good year in 2024. David.
So following on from Mike's wishes and Zoon's wishes for peace and prosperity, I wish that people are more generous with their time and generous in terms of willing to listen to each other and communicate more openly, sharing a generosity of spirit and a willingness to communicate. It's only through communication that we can solve our issues and move forward in peace. So generosity for all, I hope, in the new year.
Yeah, and also better understanding of each other for people around the world. So Mike, I know that you prepared a special song for this special occasion of Chinese New Year. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, sure. This is one of the songs that I've written, and it drew inspiration from a beautiful dance and choreography that I saw from the Hunian Chunwan, from the Year of the Tiger Spring Festival Gala. It's called 只此青绿. I think many people have seen it. And I think the traditional Chinese music and the dance are so stunning, so that I wrote the melody and the lyrics to make this song. And I incorporate a lot of traditional Chinese instruments in it, together with Western instruments. So I'll sing.
Why did you sing for a while for us?
Sure, will do. So here it goes. 三春尽了烟雨寒，檀香袅袅难成眠。流光飞影任飘散，旧景色断了丝线。奈何桥外桃花源，区区何时见归轩？当时知道是寻常，泪洒星辰，空